today I'm gonna live up to my name. We are flipping a table that unfortunately flipped out of a truck before I received it. So let's see if we can fix her up. It's a solid oak table. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line it fell out of a truck and it got damaged there, which also affected one of the legs. Right there. So there'll be some areas that I need to patch. And y'all look, it's a drop leaf table. You just lift and pull down. I'm very excited. I'm weird about drop leaf tables. I love them. Yay. So I've cleaned the table off with some Dawn dish detergent and warm water. I can tell there's a lot of glue construction with this table, so it's really important to me that I rinse the soap off and then quickly dry it so as not to interfere with the glue. I'm going to work around the damage and we'll keep the middle section of the table unpainted for a unique feature. So I'm going to use chemical stripper in just that section. You need to apply it generously and then cover it with plastic so it doesn't dry up. I waited 15 minutes for this particular product, and when I peeled back the plastic, started scraping it off. So satisfying. After scraping off everything, I used mineral spirits with a paper towel at first and then some steel wool to deactivate and remove the residual stripper. I attempted to make the repairs with quickwood, but when I went to sand them today, they crumbled out, so it wasn't the right product. So I'm using Bondo now. Bondo is a 2-part epoxy. You mix this cream with a cream hardener, and very quickly it becomes very hard and durable. So let me mix this up. So when you mix it, it's all one uniform color. Now I've set some tape up in the hopes of trying to help me shape this. If nothing else, it'll prevent it from sticking to this side of the table, because after all, it needs to function as a drop leaf. I repeated the process for all 4 corners of the drop leaves. I started to sand and shape those repairs. But later, when I attempted to lift the leaf, those repairs would often break off or lift. Listen for the snap. Hear it? Oh. Let's see how this one I finally got to my satisfaction. Not shabby. Here's a third one. This is the one that as I was hand sanding it, I could tell it lifted right up. So frustrating. All right, so this is where I am. About 3 hours in, I've made about 3, if not 4 repairs with Bondo. I have it so that when the leaves are up, it looks great, and we can still lower the leaves. However, I couldn't find the secret sauce on how to add enough Bondo on those ends to be stable enough when it's used as a drop leaf table, because when I added too much, then the leaf couldn't be pulled up. It's kind of a conundrum. Anyway, I think I need to move on. It's been sanded with 150 at this point. I'm gonna switch to 220 to get what little pigtail swirls are still there out and get it nice and smooth and ready for priming and painting. Because there is so much damage on the top, I can't keep the top completely wood finish, but I do want to save some of that wood look. So I'm going to put a whitewash on part of the tabletop. So I've mixed a wash with Fusion's color Algonquin. I prefer 1 part paint, 4 parts water. So let's get busy. I'm gonna mist to give me more open time, because essentially what I'm gonna do is paint this on and then immediately wipe it off with a lint-free rag. It's the following day. My paint wash is dry. So I'm playing with my tape to figure out how I want my stripes to look. I was able to figure out this is right smack in the middle of the table, and there are some dark marks. I don't know if it was an oil stain, but it didn't come up. So I know I want this area right here to be a white stripe. If you can look at it in reverse, whatever is exposed right now is what will be white. What's covered currently with the tape will remain the wood tone, all right? I'm going to put this tape back. I'm gonna start building my stripes on this side with more tape. After your tape is in place and you've burnished those edges really well, you want to apply some sort of a clear coat so that if anything does seep under the tape, it'll be a clear substance, at least in theory. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint on some polyacrylic over the tape. I know from experience that because this tape has a lot of paper in it, it will wrinkle. So I'm going to put on a very thin coat, and I will likely put on 2. I don't want to oversaturate the tape. It might wrinkle and start to withdraw. The repairs and the sanding and the taping are finally done, and I'm ready to start priming and painting. I brought the legs outdoors and I primed them with a spray can version of Zinsser BIN Shellac based primer. I applied the same on the tabletop, but I rolled that on. It's very expensive primer. It's around $21 for a can. I think I spent $25 for this quart, but it's the best primer for stain blocking, and that's what I want to make sure I can do since this is an oak table. Oh my gosh. I literally was singing in my mind, blinded by the light. And then I changed it to blinded by the white. Wow, my pupils are probably really tiny. That's round 1. I will for sure do 2 coats. And then at that point, I'll peel back the tape, and y'all, fingers crossed, the taping and the sealing around the tape worked. I'm gonna let that dry. So good. Ooh-wee. Look at that. Wow, that really worked well. Yay! Let me start the next one. Wow, look at that. Oh, I'm still holding my breath, but so far so good. That looks great. Yeah, it's been bleeding a little bit on the side, which kind of makes sense. Since the table is round, when the tape came over the edge, it was hard. It wasn't a flat surface. It's kind of hard to explain. So it looks like it bled on the sides a little bit. Here's the big one. Wow. Y'all, this is so cool. I'm gonna go go ahead and put on a total of 2 coats of Varathane's polyurethane in a matte finish. You want to be sure you're swiping it on against a wet edge. In other words, here's my next wet edge, and I'm going to be applying the next swipe right, pretty much overlapping a little bit of it. Also, don't overwork your piece. The product will start to dry, and if you overwork it, or if you apply a swipe against an edge that's starting to dry, you will see streaks then as well, streaks in the finish. So I'm trying really hard not to go over areas I've already done. This table is for Sweet Michelle, our son's girlfriend. She was moving into a new apartment and needed a table. She came to pick it up before I could take pictures, so I asked her to send me a few, which you will see here taken in her apartment.